Hello and welcome back to Man v Film. I asked you yesterday if you wanted to get some recommendations for the Indicator sale, and well, you said you would like that, so I'm going to come back, I'm going to jump into the computer and have a look at the sale and just some of the things that I recommend. Now, I just want to go quickly into this out of print returns just to see what's available here, to see if there's anything that I urge you to pick out. I'm a Bronson fan. I like Bronson. It's like two movies put together that don't belong, like a kind of crime caper comedy and a serious existential teardown of somebody in prison care. Crazy, worth picking up. Christine is back in limited edition form. Grab it while you can. This was number 1 in the Indicator range, and it's John Carpenter. Pick it up if you can get it. Strongly recommended. One that's not available, but keep an eye for it, is the 5 Tall Tales set. Outstanding and my favourite of all the Indicator boxes. I loved this set. Every movie was amazing. Pure surprise, so different. Strongly recommended. Guess Who's Coming to Dinner? It's an amazing movie, really well structured, great characters, wonderful discussions throughout it, great character moments. One that really surprised me when I watched it. And for my money, the Hammer Volume 2 set is the best Hammer set that has been released thus far. Cash and Demand and Never Take Sweets from a Stranger are two 5 out of 5 movies, utterly wonderful. The Snorkel is 30 seconds shy of becoming another 5 out of 5 movie, and the full treatment's fine, it's good enough. It's just a wonderful set. I'm surprised that's still there in limited edition form. Get it while you can. And yeah, let's go on to page 2. See what's here. The Collector I haven't watched, or The Legacy, but I've heard good things about them. The Reckless Moment, I loved that one. That was a really great movie. I've got a review on the channel. And the William Castle at Volume 1 set. Now, William Castle's one of those people you either appreciate or you don't. Homicidal in that set is an amazing, wonderful movie. Very much up there with Hitchcock's Psycho, which was probably inspired by that a little bit. Do yourself a favour, know nothing about Homicidal, just go into it and I'm sure you'll love it. So that's just the out of print things. Now, there may be things that pop back in. Grab what you can because they're really worth it, I suppose. And we're going to jump into the sale and have a look at them. So the $7.99 titles are standard releases of limited editions that's went out of stock. The $9.99s are limited editions, which is basically you get a reversible cover and a really quality filled booklet. And for £2, I would always get the limited edition if you can, because trust me, the booklets are amazing and they hold their value. Good for resale value. Now, I'll try and talk about some of the movies. There's some that I've got that I haven't watched as yet. I've watched over 100 Indicator titles. We'll talk about the ones that I really recommend. So, A Dandy in Aspic was a wonderful spy movie where a man is sent undercover to discover this Russian agent, but he is actually that Russian agent and he's searching for himself. It's a wonderful conceit, really well played out, and a wonderful kind of spy movie that I'd never heard of before. I've actually got a review waiting to get posted on that one, but I really loved it. A movie that I've been championing since I saw it, and that is Bellman and True. Amazing movie, utterly wonderful. Bernard Hill is great as this man who's coerced, forced into doing a robbery he doesn't want to do. He's trying to get to safety with his son. It's got a wonderful relationship with his son and him all the way through it. He is a wonderfully stilted performance in this, which fits perfectly with the character. There is some real excitement, a wonderful bank robbery, a really tense-filled getaway sequence and frustrating at times as well, with the car being stuck at parts. You'll see when you get to it. Great finale. Bellman and True was one of those surprises where you're like, wow, this is an amazing movie. Everybody should own this. I'm telling everybody to buy this movie, pretty much. Birdie was one I picked up in the last Indicator sale. I just got round to it not long ago. Don't know what I expected, but this was utterly wonderful. Matthew Modine, Nicolas Cage together playing characters who are both ravaged by war a little bit, and it's just such an uplifting tale. Do you think it should be as uplifting? Great performances as well, just an amazing movie. The standard release of Body Double. I really like this one a lot. Craig Wasson is somebody who gets a loan of an apartment and sees some things going on, sees a murder. Very Hitchcock-esque, but with a little bit more sleaze put into it than you would expect. And it plays out in some interesting fashions. Let's see, we've got some standard releases of some of the Randolph Scott movies, which are great, but if you can get the Tall Tales set, grab that first and foremost. Dragonwyck is really good, an early Vincent Price role about a young woman that marries someone, goes to this large mansion, starts to go a little bit crazed with it, watches her husband go full-blown crazy on it. The production value, the transfer, everything was amazing in that one. Endless Night was another terrific movie where I just didn't know what was going on. Man meets a woman, builds his dream house, they're having a wonderful relationship, and then weird supernatural things start to happen, and the movie kind of turns into a murder mystery, sort of. I really liked it. Wonderful twist at the end as well. You've got the limited edition of Force 10 to Navarone. Now, the movie's good. Not great. The extras really make it worthwhile. The book, the alternative cuts. That's what really makes it such a worthwhile kind of movie. A presentation, that limited set, it really feels like a proper limited set. On to the next page and we'll see what's here. Hammer Volume 5. I adore the Hammer sets. I would always strongly recommend picking them up. This one was... they had three kind of adventure movies and one that was kind of current era at the time, which was a spy one, Visa to Canton, or Passport to China as it was called. I thought that was a great, amazing movie. I think it was like 70 minutes and I could have done with a series involving that character, so I thought it was just great. The other three movies in the set, The Scarlet Blade, The Brigade of Kandahar, and The Pirates of... I forget the name. Pirates of... Blood River, I think it may be. They all star Oliver Reed in various performances and they're just wonderful. Really good. Really strongly recommend those movies. The John Ford set was a real surprise for me. I think it's an amazing movie. Well, they're all great movies, but The Long Grey Line was an instant 5 out of 5. Why have I never heard of this? A movie that just follows the life of a character as he just spends all of his life in this one place, and it's endearing, it's funny, it's emotional, it has so much resonance and is stuck with me. And one of those movies where I just was utterly captivated watching it, and for that alone I would recommend picking up that box set, regardless of the fact that the other three movies are really great as well. But The Long Grey Line is masterpiece material. The Marlene Dietrich and Joseph von Steinberg set, I've not watched that as yet, but I have picked it up, and it's 6 movies at £30, so that's a good bargain if you're interested in that. Night Tide is a terrific movie. Now, I got the limited edition, but you don't really need that. It was just an extra disc of shorts, which to be honest, I didn't really like. But Night Tide is a bonkers movie with Dennis Hopper, a young man Dennis Hopper, who falls in love with a woman. He's on shore leave from the Navy. He falls in love with a woman who portrays a mermaid at a pier attraction, but he starts to think that she might actually be a mermaid. And then there's this kind of mystery of all of our ex-suitors dying horribly. 90 minutes, and it's just wonderful. It never quite settles in one tone, and it's always shaking things up and really surprising. The Samuel Fuller set is really great. Now, only the last 2 movies are directed by him, but those 2 movies are just standout great movies. The other ones are, some of them are interesting, maybe watch once or twice. The newspaper trio of movies in this one are all excellent and highly recommended. It's a great set, 7 movies for £30. The Scum limited edition at £12 is really great value. One I could recommend as well. The Beast Must Die. I love The Beast Must Die. It's a werewolf movie mixed with an Agatha Christie 10 Little Indians kind of story, and I love it because of that. It even stops midway through to have the wolf break, where it recounts all the possible suspects and asks you to guess. It's a terrific movie with an unbelievable cast, pure genre stuff, and just one of my favourites that Indicator have released. Standard release of some of the Hammer movies as well. The Gorgon is a terrific movie if you want to take the chance on that. It's utterly wonderful. The production, the design, the colour, the use of it all is just amazing. The Lady from Shanghai, starring Orson Welles and Rita Hayworth, is a must for noir fans. You've probably already seen it, but this is a terrific transfer and a wonderful tale as well. Another Charles Bronson in the form of The Stonecutter. I really like this one. It's got a great performance from one of the assassins in this one, whose name escapes me, but it was a wonderfully weird performance. But it's typical Bronson stuff, but I like that. If that's your kind of thing, I recommend it. We've got They Made Me a Fugitive, which is a really good movie from the 40s, all about a man that's kind of set up and looking for revenge, but it doesn't really follow the kind of tropes you would expect it to. And the Time Without Pity is a really good kind of mystery, as a man's son is about to be put to death for a crime that he says he doesn't commit. His father is an alcoholic and has a history of abuse problems, and he comes back to try and save him and kind of chase away some of his demons in his limited time span to free his son and prove that he's innocent. Some of these I really need to get to watching at some point, because I've got most of these. Town on Trial. Town on Trial is great. It's like a precursor for Midsummer Murders. It is a small town of affluent people. We have a police detective inspector there who really doesn't care about minding his P's and Q's. He's happy to tread in a few toes to get to who the killer is, and if people feel uncomfortable about that, tough. It's a great performance, a great finale, wonderful story, really well told, and if you like police procedurals like I do, I think it's wonderful. Let's see. Winter Kills. Winter Kills is a kind of political assassination conspiracy type of movie. Jeff Bridges stars. You get John Huston in a wonderful role, who just owns every second of screen time that he is on screen. It's a weird movie. It has this strange tone where it has really strong moments of levity and really strong moments of brutality as well. I think it's one of those oddball movies that you can understand it being picked up nowadays and really praised for what it was, but it didn't quite make it back then. Not the perfect movie that I was hoping for, but really one that I was just hooked on the story and just didn't know where the heck it was going to go next. So there we have it. I think I've kind of covered everything that I must talk about. I'm going to just quickly go through all the pages again, just to make sure that I haven't missed anything that I really want to talk about. Of course, the Sinbad movies, hopefully you bought the set. If you didn't, they're totally worth picking up and strongly recommended. I've actually got sitting with about 6 indicator reviews waiting to go at any moment, but I don't know if I'm going to recommend anything else for you guys. Night of the Demon. The Night of the Demon one, I just want to quickly jump into to check what's on this. It's the 2 Blu-ray edition, right? So you end up with about 4 cuts in the movie and a ridiculous amount of extras. This is a standout release. How did I miss this? It was out in a limited set that pretty much had a booklet and poster and things, but this has got the 2 discs, amazing amount of cuts, amazing amount of extras. One that kind of, there's a great extra that kind of talks about the various cuts and what was missing and what was changed. It's just wonderful. So many commentaries and additions. If you like rammed, packed discs filled with amazing content, Night of the Demon is one that you really must pick up. How did I miss that the first time around? Yep, I think that's that for recommendations. Hopefully you found a couple there that really strike a nerve and make you want to check them out. I'm a big Indicator fan. In fact, my collection's it's sitting right next to me, which is sometimes I turn for reference. And still a lot of movies there to check out from the company itself. I really like the mix of movies that they offer up. Nothing really a typical genre that they stick to. They can seem to jump all over the place. I would mention that they've got 3 John Carpenter movies out there already. Vampires, Ghosts of Mars, which I like both of those movies, but they're later Carpenter and a lot of people aren't really attuned to them, particularly Ghosts of Mars, but I like it. It's just a kind of remake of one of his earlier movies, Assault on Precinct 13. Vampires I just think is fantastic. I think it's a great movie. But if you're picking up one, Christine, the limited edition is great on those out of print returns. I said watch that 2 p.m. every day. It changes, so you've got another couple of days worth to really check that out and see what's there. But you know, get Christine if you can. It's number 1. It's the first one in the series. It's what you should pick up. Now, if you've sat and listened to me ramble about all the movies I love and hopefully don't spend too much money, if you do, don't blame me. It's not my fault. I can't control you guys spending. I can barely control my own spending. But if I miss something out, or if you're watching this and you're one of the movies and you're like, that's really highly recommended, drop it in the comments. Let other people know what you recommend and why, so they don't miss out. And maybe it'll urge me to go and check it out if it's in my collection and I haven't watched it as yet. And yeah, thanks for watching. I hope you find this helpful. We'll see you next time on Man v Film.